What was your favorite pick in the draft from the 49ers?
He was on my board for a long time. I have two guys that are on my board. Let me talk about – can I talk about two? The first one's not my favorite. I'm going to end with my favorite. But I had him on my board because he's a boomer bust dude. And that's Isaac Guerendo. Like, he could be hella good. Like, his athleticism is through the roof. He's not my favorite pick, but I had him on my board just because I wanted the 49ers to get faster. And they definitely did that in this draft. Credit to them. And if he lives up to his athletic potential, you're talking about a freak athlete, 4.33, 40, 42 and a half inch vert. So I like that pick. We'll see. He's either going to be amazing or he's going to just not produce like he did in college and get injured all the time. So I'm hoping it's the other. But my favorite pick is a guy. His name is Malik, not Malik. I keep wanting to say Malik because it's spelled like Malik, but his name is Malik Mustapha. This dude is an absolute wrecking ball. He's one of the best tacklers coming out of this draft. His speed is underrated. People talk about he can't cover. He was clocked at 23 miles per hour. Some dudes play faster than they time in a 40. His 40 is not nothing that blows you away, but dude was clocked at 23 miles per hour. This is John Lynch's favorite interview in this whole process was Malik Mustapha. When I watch him, he, to me, looks like out of all of these guys that the 49ers picked this year, to me, he's the guy that's going to be a dude. I really believe that. He might be better than Brown. He might be better than a player I love, Huff. He's great in the box. He's just reckless. Dude is a straight cannonball, wrecking ball. I'm a big believer in Malik Mustapha.
I agree. I would say that he's the best pick. I mean, he wasn't a reach. It's a day 3 pick, so it's okay to pick for 2025. I could see him starting if they don't re-sign Talanoa Hufanga. Although, I feel like just letting Hufanga go. People are really down on Hufanga. I don't understand. He was an all-pro. He intercepts a lot of passes. He gives us some plays, but he makes big plays. But anyway, I like Mustafa a lot. I think that this was a pick that made a lot of sense. And he could be a guy who gets a second contract with the 49ers. That's my thing. Like, how many players from this draft are going to get a second contract with the 49ers?
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. I like Malik Mustapha, man. If you guys haven't watched Malik Mustapha in college, I urge you to go watch some of his film. He's just fearless. Like Malik Mustapha seems like the kind of player that could have played 20 years ago and just rip dudes' heads off. He unfortunately can't do that now. Well, not unfortunately. It's probably a good thing you're not ripping guys' heads off anymore. But he seems like a throwback type player. Like he could have been that guy. Like he's a Dante Hittner type hitter. I really like Malik Mustapha, and I think he's underrated in coverage. He is actually better in coverage than people are giving him credit for. One thing I've noticed about the 49ers that I've come to the conclusion is they're not going to draft a free safety or a strong safety. They just want safeties, guys that they think can do both. And they don't have to worry about who's the free safety, who's the safety. They just do both. And I think Malik Mustapha, honestly, out of all 3 of the safeties, I think he's going to be better at both than all of them.
Yeah. I like the Niners picks on day 3. Although taking a second wide receiver, the Jacob Count pick is a little strange to me. Like, I know they're trying to get Tank Dell. Tank Dell's 5'8", and he's a really good slot receiver for the Texans in a similar offense, the same system. But Tank Dell's like a really good punt returner. Cowing isn't. Look at he averaged like 5 yards of punt return last, 6 yards of punt return last. Like, that's not getting it done. I don't know about him. He's really small. He's kind of taken late in the draft. Pick 135 and a pick that they said had 170 draftable players. I'm a little skeptical about him. And then the guard they took, I know we're talking about our favorite picks. The guard with the 32-inch arms, like, I don't know about that one. But the linebacker at the end, he could probably help on special teams. He might even turn into something.
Tatum, I have a friend that used to play. The same guy that I asked about Renardo Green, he texted me about Tatum Bethune and said Tatum Bethune is an absolute dog. I love it. He's a Niner fan and played at FSU. And he texted me like, that's the thing you say, right? But that's the absolute dog. Yeah. He loves Tatum Bethune. So he said that's a hell of a pick. we'll see. I haven't been able to watch much of him yet, but I went and watched a little bit. And his favorite player, he said he emulates his game. And this is before he even was coming to the Niners. He said he emulates his game after Dre Greenlaw. And that's what he kind of looks like, to be real.
Yep. I like that pick. So
Mhm.
the two guys on defense that actually help the run defense, the safety and the linebacker. I like those picks. Funny.
Yeah.
They actually served a purpose. And they weren't reached. They weren't overdrafted. Great picks.
Yeah.
Pretty money. Taking two wide receivers, trading up. I know you like the Guerendo pick. Trading up for a running back.
Mm-hmm. He might not work out. Again, he's the boomer bust to me. It's not that I think, oh, this guy's for sure going to be a lock. That's how I feel about Malik. I feel like he's going to be a lock. And, we'll see what happens. With Isaac, I don't have that feeling about this guy's going to be a lock. I just like he's either going to be amazing or not. Like he's the boomer bust to me. So we'll see.
If I just told you before the draft that the Niners are going to trade up for a running back in the middle rounds, what would you say?
That's the thing is I had Isaac on my board. I had Malik on my board, but not. I thought they could get him a little later. I didn't think they would trade up for him, but they had a 3rd round grade on him. But the funny thing is, whenever the Niners have 3rd round grades on guys, they don't running backs, they don't work out, and so the UDFA might end up being better. Yeah.
How hard do you think it was for Kyle not to take the running back in round 3?
It was probably tough, man. But I figured at that point they're like, we got to get some kind of offensive line. Yeah. And here's the thing. Here's how you know they need offensive line. Grant is they signed what. They signed a couple of them. They signed a center and a tackle as UDFAs. So they're like, we need linemen. Let's get UDFAs. They knew they needed linemen. They know it's a need. They have no depth at that position. And they just chose to do it as UDFAs. So
it's true. There's some good UDFAs.
Yeah.
Dazzle wants to know what team gives a quarterback $50 million plus per year, like the Niners seem ready to do with Purdy, and not upgrade the offensive line. That's scary.
Not good.
It's like buying a Porsche and not parking it in the garage. It's like buying a mansion and not getting Ring cameras.
That's my thing. Like I that's why it's just frustrating for me with this team. It's like you say you found your franchise quarterback and you're going to sign him to a long-term contract. He's going to be here for years to come, but you don't invest in the offensive line to protect him. That's why it's frustrating to me.
You think the Chiefs would mess around like that? Oh, wait. No, I know that they don't.
Yeah, they won't. No, they don't.
They absolutely will not. Fish and chips. Yeah. They did draft a head coach to get prepared for Staley Magic. Oh, man. They're not going to let him anywhere near the players. J Luck 666, $2. J Luck 666, $5 says maybe Kyle trying to push Debo to do better with the Pearsall pick and trade him next year. Wide receiver room looks great, BT Dub. Last $2 was for a taco. Thank you.
One thing that Pearsall, I tweeted this out, people didn't like it. Pearsall. One thing Pearsall does not do that Debo does is take plays off. I know that's got to kill Kyle. I know it. I know Debo's his boy, but when you watch him taking plays off, that's got to piss him off because that's their thing, right? Like, what are you doing off the ball? And Debo a lot of times takes breaks. When you watch Pearsall in college, he was relentless even when the ball wasn't in his hands.
Harold McAllister, with the current roster, what rookie will have the biggest impact this year? Tatum Bethian. No, Pearsall will be the punt returner.
I think Renardo Green might push Diamador Lenore into the nickel and be your outside corner. So he's probably, if I had to bet, he'll play a lot. With Malik, I think he's hella good, but they're going to give Huff every opportunity to retain his job. So I don't know how much he's going to play this year. But I can see Renardo Green making an impact, being the third corner or actually the outside corner, and they push Demo inside.
I can see Pooney getting a look at right guard if Feliciano gets hurt.
Yeah.
Because the Niners don't give a damn, dude. You never played right guard before? So you're gonna be great. I don't like that. The Niners been doing that since before Kyle and John got here, like taking college players and changing their position before they even get in the league. Like, wait a second, man.
Yeah, I mean, right and left side it is different from everything this guy's coach has said about Dominic Pooney. He literally, that's one of the things he says is he can play all 5 positions. Some guys can do it, some guys can't, right? Basketball, some guys can make right hand layups, some guys can't make left, and vice versa. And I think
Aaron Banks can play right guard. Aaron Banks can play right guard.
Some guys can't. Some guys can though. Some guys are more ambidextrous. Yeah.
It's true. Well, we'll see. If he can play right guard this year and be an upgrade over Feliciano, that's a good pick in round 3. Even if he can't move to right tackle one day. So I'm interested. I don't know what their plan is for Pooney. I'm interested with that.
Yeah.
I guess Green too. Is he going to play nickel or is he going to play outside? Because to me, I feel like I might trust Lenore more outside because he's faster than Green. Green runs about like a 4.5, like a 4.49.
It's just they know Lenore can play nickel. Ronaldo
Yep.
Green didn't play a lot of nickel in college. He's more outside corner, and he's used to it. So I would imagine in their head that they plan on having Ronaldo on the outside. He's really good.
Yeah, I would agree. You start him outside. I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's why
start him outside. And if that's the case, yeah, maybe he's the third guy and Lenore plays inside in the nickel. That could happen. So he'd be competing with Yadam and Ambry. Those two.
Yeah.
So that could be the answer. Boxing fan times 4. Do you think they should have drafted an edge?
They always draft edge. I'm okay that they didn't for once.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. Debo jogs unless ball is coming to him, says Dave Barclay.
Yeah.
It's a bad look. He's also not really into blocking.